Hi guys, this is Divya from BotsForFun. Today's lesson is the most important lesson. We'll be learning about the move block. The move block is the most common and most important block. It is really important that you understand what it does. Let's start off by looking at the program portion of it. The thing I'm going to do is name my file the move block. And I'm going to click go. So the move block is the first block on the left over here. So I'm going to drag it out. And let's look at the details of it. So over here you can see that there's 6 categories: port, direction, steering, power, duration, and next action. But first let's talk about just what it is in general. So the move block is what moves the robot. What it does is basically it just moves the motor that controls the wheels. Okay, so we're going to skip port for this video. It's very important, so we actually have an entirely different video on that, just that alone. Direction. Direction is pretty simple. If you want to go forward, you have it on forward. If you want to go backwards, click here. And if you want it to be a stop, then you just click on the third one. Steering is just which direction you want to go. So you can go anywhere from all the way right to all the way left, and anywhere in between as well. Power is basically speed. So if it's at 100%, the robot is going as fast as it can. If it's at 0%, well, the robot isn't going anywhere because it has no speed at all. Generally in class we will be going around 50 to 75%. We don't want to go at 100 because that would use up the battery too much, and we don't want that. Duration is pretty important, guys, so you guys might want to listen very closely for this. So duration is the distance that you want the motor to move, or the robot to move. Unlimited. What do you think unlimited means? Well, it means that the distance is going is forever. So basically the robot will go forward forever. Simple as that. Seconds. Seconds is pretty simple as well. For that, basically, if it's 1 second, it'll go forward for 1 second. Now in class, we're not going to be using seconds that much because that depends more on the battery of the robot. If the battery's at full power, then it's going to go farther in 1 second than if it were at half its power. So in our class, we'll be using more rotations and degrees. So let's start with the rotations. So think of rotation as a huge robot step. In reality, it's actually one rotation of the wheel, one turn of the wheel. But think of it as a big robot step. And degrees you can think of as a small mini steps. So over here you can see that one rotation is equal to 360 degrees. It actually converts for you over here. Now in math, you'll see that that's actually correct. One whole circle or rotation of a wheel is equal to 360 degrees. But there's a huge difference over here. Rotation and degrees are the turning of the wheel. So if you're trying to make the robot go 90 degrees, turn 90 degrees, that's not the same as 90 degrees over here. This is wrong. A lot of people fall for this trap, so please don't. So if you put 90 degrees on here, it's not going to turn, if you want to turn, let's say, right? If you put 90 degrees here, it's not going to turn 90 degrees. The wheel is going to turn 90 degrees, but not the entire robot is going to turn 90 degrees. There's a big difference here. Degrees and rotations on here are how much the wheel turns. That's not the same thing as how much the robot turns in reality. Please keep that in mind when you do your exercises. A lot of people fall for that mistake. And next action, always just keep it on brake. They don't make that much a difference, brake and coast, but it's just easier to go with brake. So if you want to know the difference between them, brake is where the robot immediately brakes right after it finishes whatever block it has over here. Coast is where it kind of just lets gravity stop it by itself. It doesn't immediately stop it, just lets the robot go until it loses power or loses energy. And that's it for today. So as a reminder, rotations and degrees are how much the wheel turns. It's not how much the robot will turn if you want it to do a right turn or a left turn, or a 90-degree turn, as it's called in math. And we use rotations and degrees in class, not so much seconds, so please be aware of that. And that's it. Now it's time for us to review what we've learned in this lesson so far. The move block turns the wheels of the robot using the following categories: direction, forward, backwards, or stop; steering, far left to far right; power, the speed of the robot; duration, how much distance the robot travels; and finally, next action, how the robot stops. This has been Divya Virpaneni, and I'll see you next time.